science. And we have been,
many of us.
Hello, sir.
The recording just starts now. Please, maybe you can restart again. Sorry.
Okay, I want to welcome every one of us to Ekiti R-Users Group. Once again, you are welcome. I can see a lot of people. We have 70 people. I believe a lot of people will still join. But we have more than 100 people that are already members of this group. So the aim of this group, that is Ekiti R-User Group, is to be trained, to train, bring people that are lovers of data. Today we are talking about data science. And when we started this group, one thing that bothered us is the way the statisticians are not in line with data science. And that's why we want to bring people together, really using R. R is a programming language meant to do data analysis. And you can't really talk about data science without statistics. In fact, statistics is study of science. So how will you now talk about data without not talking about statistics? And we that have been using R, we know the power of R. And that is the message we are preaching here and there. And this is my friend that's going to be the facilitator for this media edition. We have all been invited on several occasions to facilitate a program like this. So it's an opportunity to be here. Even myself, himself, and some people that are already joining us. So I want to welcome us. I can see people from Lagos, from most people are from Ado. Of course, I'm not surprised seeing a lot of people from Ado because that's where I started, and it's for Ekiti. So all over the world, people will see John. So I want to encourage us, as he has said, let's make sure that our system, laptop, our side, because it's going to be hands-on. It's a hands-on training. It's not just, this is not where we'll be talking without training. No, as he's going to be talking about it, demonstrating it. So if you don't have a laptop with you, make sure you let it by your side. So as we are watching it, doing it, you do it. So that's the way we are facilitating our own program. And I want to say that after today's training, don't be like some people, they will attend trainings, like the one I facilitated for Unilorin R-User Group. People said a lot of things. They say they have attended training, but they have not been doing it. So let us not do that. Do it immediately after this training. But make sure you start practicing. Starting from simple data summary, summary statistics, descriptive statistics. Those are the things you want to start with: the mean, median, the mode, the chart. So it's good to listen, but the best thing is for you to practice it, and that is why that's how you can become a guru in data science using R. So you're welcome once again. So I want to give us the code of conduct for this program. I will share, I will explain it. They are just simple rules that we guide us, just like you go for a camp. When you go for camping, and the person to tell you is that don't do that, don't do this. These are things, they are just ethics. I will just share my screen to let us see that, because it's good for us, so that we know how to behave ourselves while here. This is it. Code of conduct. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
My screen?
Yes.
This is the code of conduct.
Yes,
this is the code of conduct. So expected behavior, all participants are expected to treat everyone with respect, courtesy, and consideration.
Yes, sir.
You respect, respect is reciprocal. When you give respect, you also deserve one. You honor, different viewpoints and experiences. Even if you know what somebody is saying, keep silent. You still learn from what he's saying. Refrain from demeaning, discriminatory, or harassing behavior and speech. See, when you learn in silence, you are going to become great. People that make noise, is a empty barrel make the loudest noise. So let us not do that. Yeah, that is it. I respect people that are silent to they become great. So unacceptable behavior, I know we are all mature. Harassment and abusive behavior will not be tolerated, including but not limited to one, offensive comments or insults related to gender, sexual orientation, disability, race, age, religion. We don't have anything to do with all this, please. So appearance or any other protected characteristic. That's why in our questionnaire, there are many things we don't touch. I want to collect data. And that doesn't mean we will not talk when you are asking questions from them, because the way you are presenting it is offensive. We already, let me not go to the training. So deliberate intimidation, when you are intimidating your speech. So let us be very careful. Harassing photography or recording without consent. All these things, before you screenshot my presentation, you need my consent to, I'm just putting it because statistician will collect data through anything. It's not just giving them questionnaire, type one. So you have to be very careful about this. Inappropriate physical contact or sexual imagery. I believe you will not do all of this. Sustained disruption of thoughts. The speaker is speaking. Please. When he sees speaking, I have not given you the chance or the audience, you don't interrupt. You don't disrupt. Those are the things. And some other ones that have not been highlighted here. I know this is not the first learning or training you're going to attend online. I know we help us. So that's all. Then we have many of us that have not introduced ourselves. Please let us do the introduction now. Tell us where you are coming from. Tell us where you are speaking. We want to know ourselves a little bit before we go into it. This is 12:21. Let me stop sharing and let us know ourselves, please. Let's know ourselves. So people have talked. They say they are from. So it's open. You can unmute yourself and tell us where you are coming, you are talking from, you are viewing us. I can see Ayola, Patumilola. Okay. Where are you?
Moses Bright,
yes,
from Ekiti.
All right. From where?
Moses Bright from Ekiti. From Ekiti, Moses Bright.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Moses, you're welcome.
This is Abubakar Suleiman from Ekiti.
Yes.
From Ekiti, you're welcome. Abubakar.
Ayola Fatumilola from
Ekiti.
You're welcome, Mr. Ayola.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Who is doing the next one? I can see Abubakar Suleiman. I've seen your face. Oh. I hope you are speaking from Ekiti.
Yes, I'm talking from Ekiti, sir.
Yes, I've seen your image. Obabiri Akinleye.
Obabiri Akinleye, sir, from Delta State.
From Delta. Urobo Wado. Hey. What's my response again? I forgot to know. Migo,
Migo, sir.
Titilayo.
Good morning, sir. I'm Titilayo Akpara from Ekiti.
You're welcome, Titi. Yeah. Ochundo Chan.
Yes, good morning, sir. I'm from South Sudan.
Good morning.
Yeah.
From where?
From South Sudan.
South Sudan. You're welcome.
Yes.
I have people there. You're welcome.
Yeah. Thank you.
Ajayo Malade. Where are you speaking from? Okay. Who else? I think others will join us. Time has been fast spent. Later, maybe towards the end of this training, we'll do the other introduction. Well, I'm Dr. Isaac Ajao, the organizer of this training. By God's grace, this is just the media edition. We are going to be having this as God permit us. We're still going to have a lot of this even before the end, the year runs to the end. So that's why we are starting with the beginning, and that is installation with a lot of things that our repository will put in. Even if you don't know anything in R, this is a very good training for you because it's getting started with R. And that's the first training. Even if you are teaching 100 level, teaching ND, teaching NC1, this is the first training that you must have as a beginner. Whether you have a statistics background or you don't have, it's a very good one, as depicted on the message sent to our email. So I want to solicit for support and to be constantly following us. That's when you can be a very good learner and you become a very good data scientist that people will be looking for you all over the world. Okay. Now I want to know, let me introduce my facilitator. Some of us that came early, that joined early, we might have heard him. We must have heard him talking about some other things before that people join. His name is the Ezekiel Adebayo Ogundepo. Is the maiden facilitator of this training. It's my pleasure to welcome you all to this very first outreach. And the facilitator is the one I'm talking about. We have met severally, and we have met, doing one thing or the other together. So he's an R and RStudio certified delivers instructor, the first of his kind in Nigeria. He has worked with a data specialist as a data specialist at 54G, where he's involved in cutting-edge data analysis to improve healthcare outcome in Africa. So he holds a first-class degree in statistics from University of Ilorin, and he has a master's degree in mathematical science from the African Institute of Mathematical Science, Rwanda. And it's backed by the MasterCard Foundation. Beyond his academic and professional achievements, he is passionate about building capacity in data science. The co-founder of, if I'm not mistaken, Ibadan R-Users Group. We have Ibadan R-Users Group. He happened to be one of the co-founders and actively supports African R community and in mentoring and training aspiring data professionals. This person is a teacher. By the time he starts with you, you know what I'm talking about. Yes. Then today, he'll be guiding us through the foundation of R programming. And he's going to use data analysis and research that he has acquired. So join me in welcoming the true leader and the teacher in this field, Mr. Ezekiel Adebayo Ogundepo. You are welcome, Mr. Ezekiel. God bless you.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much for this introduction.
You have the floor.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. So let me share my screen, and somebody can just tell me if they can see my screen or not. All right. Can you see my screen, please?
Yeah.
Is it up?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Yes. You can see your screen.
All right.
Yes, I can see your screen too.
All right. All right. Thank you. Just as I said before, we have the action button here. For example, can you see my screen? You can just say something like this to show. And if you have any question, you raise your hand. Thank you very much for doing that. All right. Before I start with my own presentation on getting started with R, a powerful tool for data analysis and research, right? I would like to just introduce a little bit about Ekiti R-Users Group. Number one, to join the Ekiti R-Users Group, right? You can just go to their web page. So this is the web page, meetup.com/Ekiti R-Users Group, and from there you can join. You can see that they have about 130 members already. If they have any session or meetup or workshop, you'll be able to see it there, and without being sent anything, meetup will send you a message that a new meetup has been launched up. And if there is any material they want to upload, you can easily come to the discussion and you will see it being posted. All right, that's all about the R group. All right, let me share my screen, my slide. Please, can you see my slide?
Yeah, I can see your slide.
Sir.
Okay, thank you very much. So, Dr. Isaac has already introduced me. My name is Ezekiel, and I will be taking you through getting started with R, a powerful tool for data analysis and research. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can easily follow me by using GBG Analyst. And if you want to see everything that I've done so far, you can go to my website, gbganalyst.github.io. You'll be able to see everything there. In this session, right, we'll be doing it step by step so that a beginner can easily understand and cope with what we are saying about app programming. I remember when I was in the university, 100 level, 200 level, 200 level, programming always scared me, right? I don't like programming at all. Not because programming is so complex, but because people that were teaching it at that time made it so hard for us that we had to pray and pray before we pass those programming courses. But after I left university, right, I had to read books on programming, and I see that this is actually very simple. And nowadays, you can see students in high school, they are building several games, writing different programming languages, and even with the help of ChatGPT now, things are now becoming so simple. So today we'll be learning about introduction to R and its ecosystem. So you understand what R is, the history about R and why it's so popular in data science and in statistics and even for research. You will see little about simple analysis because of our time, and then how you can install packages on CRAN, that is comprehensive R archive network, and the one that is not on CRAN. So CRAN is just like a journal. For example, if you have a research and you publish it, right? That manuscript will be published in a particular journal so that people can easily read it, download the PDF, and cite it where possible. So the same thing with packages, right? So you can't just install any package except you know the source. So journal, just like a journal, when you publish it, and you know that for a paper to be published, it has to go to several steps, like they will, what do you call it? They will review it. They will send it back to you to implement those review. You will sweat, send it back to them. They will reject it. You go to another journal. The same thing with our CRAN, compressive R archive network. So any standard package that is stable, that will not cause your computer any harm, that is what we see on CRAN. So, and then if the package is not on CRAN, maybe the developer did not have a good time to start, implementing those review, then they can host it on GitHub. So, or maybe a particular research firm, if they want people to have access to their codes, then they will host it on GitHub. So if they make it public on GitHub, then you can easily install that package. So I will show you everything all about this in a simple way that even if they wake you up, you'll be able to understand and tell them what I'm going to discuss today. And then I've already sent a link on how to install R and RStudio. right? Already, if you go to the links I sent, you install R in RStudio. Then I will show you how to create RStudio projects. So this is what will help you to manage your workspace. And then I also show you how to work with the RStudio itself. You know, the console, the source, the viewer pane, the plot, the file, everything. So you will see it by yourself. And you will see that R is actually very simple. And then you will write some functions, little functions, assign values to a variable, you understand data types, array, operations, and some built-in functions, simple built-in functions. So you'll be able to know it today. And then, if possible, we move into the data structure, where we'll be talking about a vector, a matrix, a list, and a data frame. And in fact, you will know how to import any data format into R. And then you can do little operation, data cleaning. And if possible, we will go into data visualization, right? Uh, Everything will not just be a hint. So I will show you something that when you read other books or you watch other videos, then you'll be able to understand everything clearly. All right. Um, Before I continue, do we have any question? All right.
No, sir.
There's no question. Okay, there's no question. All right. So now the slide is into different sections. So when you see something like this, all these things, like wherever you see this kind of logo, that means that we are in the new section, right? And we continue like that. So now here we're talking about the history of our programming. Just like Dr. said, R is a programming language and it is designed solely for data analysis, statistical computing, and visualization. And it has a library, you know, and a user community whereby if you run into any problem, you can easily tag them on Twitter and they will actually respond. Not a bot, but human being responding to your query, to your challenge. They've helped me. I can't count the number of times they've helped me on Twitter. Anytime I know I was struggling with something, I'll just tag them with R start, and then somebody just come to me. But nowadays that we have ChatGPT, I'm no longer tweeting about my problem again. I can easily solve it with ChatGPT. And the R programming also has an ID called Integrated Development Environment, and it is RStudio. And in fact, it can also work with Visual Studio and other IDEs. And that is what is making our programming a versatile tools for data-driven work. So why should you learn R programming? We can tell you many, how will I call it, many reasons why you should learn R programming. If you want to do a serious statistical work, then R programming is your go-to. As I said before, R programming has a large community of R users. I think 2 years ago, I was in the UK, to help with the development of R programming, the main R programming interface, and they supported my journey to UK. And you can also, with the help of R programming knowledge, you can travel to different conferences, and you present your work, you learn, you see new ways of doing something. So R programming has those communities, and that is why I like R programming a lot. And R programming also has more than 2,000 free packages. You don't need to buy any package before you can do your work. Just like you have to buy license for Starter, for SPSS, for Microsoft Excel, and all of that. So R programming is free. It's very free. The packages in R programming are free. And whatsoever sector or field you are into, R programming can easily assist you in getting your work done. Be it geospatial, be it time series, be it genomics, and any field you are in, statistics or wherever, even if it's in biological science or even if it is in art. I've seen people in art field that are using R programming, and R programming is easy to learn. It's easy to learn. Just read it, work with it, get an error, look at the error syntax, what is the problem. It will tell you where something went wrong, and you read it. So programming is not something that is very hard like that. Whenever you encounter any error, just look at the error. And if you see any function that you don't understand, there's a way you can ask for the documentation. So which means that to enjoy R programming, you must be able to read documentation. Documentation is just like a dictionary. For example, maybe 10 years ago, before you can get a meaning to a particular word, you have to consult your dictionary. But nowadays, people are not using the manual dictionary again. They just go to Google and just like the way you are Googling something, the same thing, documentation will help you to understand a particular function. And in fact, I can tell you that everything I have known so far, by the grace of God, is just through reading and reading documentation. If I see a particular package, I will not just use the function. I want to understand why that function is working. And by that, it's helping me to build muscle in R programming. Another thing why you must learn R programming is that R is an open source. Open source means that it is free and the distribution is free. And it supports different platforms, be it Windows, be it Linux, be it Mac OS, and many other platforms like that. R can also connect with other languages. You can use Python in R, you can use SQL in R, it supports other languages. In fact, Julia, if you know what is called Julia, you can also use Julia in R. R programming supports cross-platform. Any platform, you can easily work with R on that. And another last reason why I would like you to consider R programming is that it has an excellent graphical output. With the help of ggplot2, the base graphics, and other kind of packages like Plotly, you will do a manuscript-ready plot. I've never created a plot in R for publication, and they will say this plot is wrong. No, they always accept it because R will give you a very good visual. So that is the main reason why I think you should consider R and join us in this community. Okay, after I've mastered R, where will I work? That's another question I always, ask from people. I've mastered R, where can I work? There are many companies that are using R program. You can see it in this image. KPMG, which one do you know again? Google, Deloitte. In fact, when Google wanted to create a particular program, they call it professional data analytics program. They did not use Python, they choose R. There's a reason why they choose R, right? So other companies like that are using R programming. When I was working in Rwanda Revenue Authority, I used R programming to do revenue forecasting, tax analysis, and for the government of Rwanda. Deloitte is using R. So when you know R, you can easily see yourself in those companies. And if you cannot see yourself in this company, we have local companies as well that are using R programming. Just master it, understand the tool, understand the theory, and then you get the work done. The first thing about R programming is to understand the engine of R programming. The engine of R programming is what we term R interface. And here is the R interface. Before, like 5 years ago, nobody will show you how to use RStudio. This is where they will show you. And you'll be sweating, to get the work done in this interface. So that is why they now introduce RStudio, which is the integrated development environment. RStudio is not the program, it's not the engine, that makes everything work. So what makes everything work in RStudio is this R interface. That is why you have to install the R interface and the RStudio. So I think currently the version is, I think if it is this one or because every time they always release a new version. So I would just advise you to go to RStudio and install the latest version. Already we've discussed about how you can install R programming in Windows. I believe you have installed it already. And for the Mac OS, this is the website to install the R programming. And for the RStudio, here is it. Immediately you enter into this website, so it will automatically detect your operating system. If you're on Mac, you will see the mark and then you can install it. If it's Windows, it's easily there, Windows, and then you can install it like that. Another good thing that I like you to install is the R-Tools. So many people don't know about these R-Tools. And when they are installing packages, the installation will be complaining of this compilation, this compiler. So please, to install these R-Tools, you just go to this website and then you install R-Tools. What is R-Tools? R-Tools is just a collection of tools that makes your packages to be able to build on Windows. And as I said before, it includes compilers and library that are essential for package development. So this one is just like a software. It's not a pack, it's a software that will help you when you are installing other packages that I will show you in the next section. Okay, after you have installed R-Tools, to know whether your R-Tools is successfully installed, then you can use this syntax on the console. sys.which bracket make, and then it will show you something like this and saying that the package, the software has been installed successfully. When you launch the RStudio, right, we have 4 panes, and very soon we will go to the laboratory, where we will see everything in action. But before we go into the laboratory session, then let's quickly see what the panes are. Number 1, we have the source. So this is where we write your code. It's just like a jotter, right? If you don't want to forget anything, you put it in your jotter. And if you want to send that thing to another person, it's easier. You just send the thing to the person. So source is just like a script. It's a script that has your code, and you can easily send it to other people. The console is the engine, so that runs whatever that happens in this source. So I will show you everything. Then the environment or history is what will show you the objects that you have run. And then we have this one. This is the files. On the files, you will see all the files and directory in your computer. The plot, whatever you plot here or here, will show up here. The packages, the default packages, and the one you have installed will be shown in this package area. Then help, if you need any documentation or a help concerning a particular function, then the help will show what here. So now it's time to go into the laboratory section. And we'll continue having laboratory session after every section in this session. So let me show you. So here is my RStudio. As you can see, my version is 2025.05.0 plus 49.6. So it's loaded already. And then another one is, I call it R, right? So the syntax of R, so let's go to the app. Here is it. So if I open it now, you can see here is the R interface. And you can do your programming here too. But if I see you doing your programming here, I will just be laughing, saying, okay, please, there's another better life. So here is the better life that can make your programming so sweet. All right, so let me close my script, and then let's see it one by one. As I said before, it has 4 pages. The first pane is this one called source. So this is where you do your coding. For example, I can just say 2 plus 3 or 4. To run it, I will press Ctrl Enter, and that gives me the result. So here is the source. And if I want to assign a variable, I can say, let's say, salary, for example. Salary, then I say salary is $345 dollars, for example, right? And then I can just say salary, okay, maybe let's see the salary by 10%, for example, 10%, and then so this will be the increment, right? So here now, here is the source. As you can see, as I'm running it with Control Enter, the result is coming to the console. So here is the console. And if I want to save my script or source, I just press Control S. So it's asking me where I want to save it. And then I can say Ekiti R, for example, and call my script. Let's say first script, for example. First script. I made a mistake. I can rename it here and say first script, and then that gives me the script, right? And here is the source. So here is the terminal. So the more you are advancing in R, the more you know how to work with terminal. And background jobs is when you have many scripts and you want to run them together, right? It can ask you, so it's asking me to start my job, and then I can take my script, and then everything will start running. So you can run many things at the same time with the help of background jobs, right? And we also have files. Here is files. As you can see, all the files on my computer are all here, right? So I can easily move to the admin, go to the desktop, okay, and then start looking for my files. And then here is the plot. So if I want to plot anything, for example, and let me just show you little plotting. Here, let's say I want to plot a scatter diagram, and I want to plot just little thing, 1 to 10, and then 10 to 1. So if I press enter now, you can see here is my plot, and the plot is showing under the plots. So here is the packages, and it's loading. So all the packages I've installed, both the one that comes by default when I install the R in RStudio, and the one I install by myself, right? All the packages will be shown up here. And if you want to install any package again in a lazy way, so you come to the install and type the name of the package. For example, we have a bulk reader, and you click install, that will install it for you. So every time, maybe every quarter, it's always good to update your package. And to update all the packages at once, you can see, so yeah, all the packages that need to be updated. So you just click select all and you install it. So I always do this anytime I see a free Wi-Fi. If I go to maybe I travel and I go to an hotel, I just update all my packages and the RStudio and all of that. They also have app, right? So this is where you can consult any documentation. For example, I did something like this. How do I know that this is a function that will plot this scatter diagram for me? Yeah. To ask a question in RStudio, you just put a question mark first, and then the name of the function that you want to ask for its documentation. Then it's plot, right? And then so you just press Control Enter, and that gives you this. So it's asking you because the plot function is in 2 packages. The first one is under the base package, and the second one is under the graphics package. I think both are doing the same thing actually. So if you just say X and Y, and then you can read it. So this is how to use it. It's asking you for the X. X here is the vector. This is the first vector, and comma. The Y is the second vector, and then we have other arguments like how you want the plot to be. Is it on point or line or both? So if I just say here now, if I come here and say type is equal to B, for example, and I run it, you can see that the arc line, the detection line or trend has changed from this one to this one. So when you are reading the documentation, you'll be able to decorate many things, by yourself. Very easy. And how to use it is here. This is the main, and that will show you the title of the plot, the subtitle, the X lab for the X axis, Y lab for the Y axis, and many other things. And you can see this is how they are using it. And from there, you can begin to become an expert on how to use plots. Then we also have viewer. In case you create an HTML file and you want to view it, so this guy will show it, for you. And here is the presentation. The more you are advancing in R, for example, let's say you created a slide with the help of R Markdown or photo, so the slide will show up here under the presentation. Then we have environment. So this will show you all the values or the objects. For example, I said salary is equal to 345. You can see it has saved it for me. And then if you go to the history, everything I've been running will show up here. And the connection here is when you want to connect into database. Let's say you have a database, your office, your company, and you want to connect that database. You can easily connect to database. It will ask you which kind of database you want to connect. If it is ODBC, so it's asking me to install the package. If it's BigQuery, it will ask you for your project. And then when you press OK, so for example, something like this, it will also ask you for the password and the username, and then you'll be able to connect to that. So here is the Git, right? Git is a version control. And if you know version control, you can easily work your way in this place. Here is tutorial. If you need any tutorial, you can easily click here, install the Learn R package, and it will start teaching you everything on RStudio. Do we have any questions before I continue with the RStudio interface?
Yes. Mr. Ezekiel.
Yes, sir.
Ibukun Ayo Olumodeji has raised up his hand.
Okay, please, you can talk now. Thank you.
Yes, sir. I want to thank you for this brief introduction. Yes, I just installed R and RStudio on my laptop some few minutes ago.
Okay.
But I noticed it's looking different from what you are displaying. My own has a white background,
Yes.
everything is white there, and I'm seeing yours is looking like blue.
Okay.
So that's what I'm not familiar with the interface yet, but I can see those 4 sections there: the console, the environment, the file plot. So that's what I just got.
I have customized my own, and I will show you how to do that right now. Okay. Before I move into that,
Alaba has also raised up his hand so that you answer.
All right. Oh yeah, what is the question, please? Hi, Alaba.
Yes, sir. All right, sir. Thank you very much for the introduction session. Please, I did not get the documentation properly. My phone was not working properly while you were doing. Please, can you repeat the documentation, because I know it's one of those things that will help me to be grounded in the programming language.
Yeah, I will show it. Okay, is that all for now?
I think that's all.
Okay.
Nobody's raising up hand again.
If I'm talking too fast, please tell me to come back home. All right. And if I'm talking slowly, tell me to speed down. So I know how to do the two. Okay. So for the documentation, right? So it depends on what you want to ask the documentation. For example, I use this function. If I want to know more about this function, that is where I will start with documentation. And this is it. Anything you want to ask is we start from a question mark, right? And then you now put the function you want to ask its documentation. So for example, let's say you want to ask about vector, for example, or concatenation. So this C, the small c here, is a reserved word for concatenation, and you will know what it is very soon. But for now, let me just ask, what is it? So as you can see, it shows me that this C function is used to combine values into a vector or a list. And then you can start reading about it and how to use it. So yes, how to use it. Yes, how to use it. And that's all about documentation. All right. Once you have the documentation, this app will open up for you, and then you can start reading about it. And if anything is not clear, come to the example and run it. So there are two ways of running it. So the first one is to come here, copy, and then come over here and run. That is one. Another way is highlight this place and press Ctrl Enter. So the two will work. Can you see? Instead of doing copy and paste, so just highlight, press Ctrl Enter, and that will work. This one too, highlight, press Ctrl Enter, it will come to the console and run it. So that is it. And for me, if you want to read documentation, please don't use source for your documentation, because the person that is going to work with you do not need to read documentation like you. You are the one that want to read better. Other people, maybe they know it or they are lazy to know it. So don't put your documentation here. Make sure that you are using the console to do that. So for example, let's say what is matrix, for example. All right, so the documentation will show up here and you start here. So I do not like to see your script or your source to be having something like this. Please, it is not good. All right, now RStudio has a lot of customizations, right? First of all, let me talk about the menu. So here we have file, just like in the MS Word, Excel, and all those software. You have what is called a menu. There is file. Yes, in the file you can create a new script, a new whatever. You can open, you can save, you can print. Under the edit, control cut, control C, paste, and many other things like that. Under the code, you can jump to any section. You can see. You can go to any file or function. These ones are very important. Soft wrap, rainbow parentheses, rainbow French div. Rainbow here is talking about when you have different parentheses, right? So this will guide you whether you close a parenthesis or not. For example, let me say I have this. So don't worry, I know I've not taught you, but don't worry. Let's say I have this, and then I also want to create another one, right? And then you can see that here now, so it's telling me that I've not closed the bracket. You can see that this one is having the same color because I've closed it. And then if I do it now, you can see that it has matched this. And that is what the rainbow parentheses is doing. All right. And if you want to do any comment, you can easily do the comments here and all of that. All right. And yes, if you add toolbar, switch to different tabs, and show history, show plot, all those things. Here is plot. You can zoom a plot. You can really do everything here under this plot. Here is zoom. You can see zoom. So you can like this zoom, and then you can export it. You can save it as whatever you want to save it. You can change the width and height, and everything will be done for you. So here is the session. If anything happens to your R, maybe it is hanging, you can easily terminate it here. You can restart your R. Here you can set your working directory. But don't worry, I will show you a better way of setting your working directory. And now to customize your R. So here you go to tools, and then you go to the global options. So it will show you a window like this, and this is where you can start, customizing your RStudio. So if you want to start knowing whether a new version is available for RStudio, you can click here to automatically notify you when a new version is released. Here, saying that it should never save workspace to .r data because it's not useful. So all these things. And then for the code, here I'm saying if you use native pipe operator, And then this is the soft wrap. So that instead of your code to be longing, right? For example, you're just writing and everything is so long, people have to start scrolling horizontally before they get to the end of the line code or the code of the line of the code. Then this will help you. This one will help you to soft wrap it. So soft wrap is just like to maintain its alignment or balancing. Okay. And then here is the appearance. So here is where you can do your customization for the theme. So here I'm using modern theme. I don't like something to be tiny, so I zoom my own to 200%. So if this is too big for you, then you can do your own as 80 or 90 or whatever you like. And then under this editor theme, I'm using ambience. You can change your own to Chrome. You can do the so you can take any theme you like, right? So there's no one that is better than the other, depending on what you like. So you can just do it. So once you are done, you can scroll down, apply OK, and everything will be set into that. Then we have spelling, right? So I ask you to use United Kingdom English, right? Ignore words in uppercase, use real-time spelling check so that I'm not making any mistake in my spelling. And so there are many things here. If you want to use it with Python, so and if you have installed under environment like what do they call it, Anaconda. So you select your Anaconda, and you'll be able to use Python in the RStudio. Then what other thing? If you have Git installed, so automatically it will see your Git path, and then you're able to use your Git. And I also use a Copilot like a ChatGPT, something in case I'm coding. So we'll be coding together. You can see that I already signed in, and then it's working very perfectly. You can see when I'm typing, it will be suggesting something for me too. All right. So that's all about customization. And here, we also have, if you come over to this place here, you can, if anything happens, maybe everything is scattered. Maybe this one is, for example, let's say I can't see my console again. For example, if I come here and do like this, you can see that my console is now in the right hand side instead of it to be on this place. So some people can set their RStudio in the way they like. So this is how you can just restore it. You can see console on left, come back here, console on the right, it will come to this place. So depending on how you are working, sometimes I would like to use like this so that I can be seeing everything I'm doing instead of going looking up and looking down every time. So that is it. And if I have terminal, there is terminal. Instead of going to the command line on my computer, RStudio support terminal, and you can easily work with your terminal. So do we have any question again?
And you can go ahead.
All right. Okay.
Okay. I can see somebody, Ogunsakin. Ogunsakin Felix. Okay. He has pushed down his hands. So maybe it was an
good.
Okay.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, my question goes to the area of plotting, like you said during the course of your presentation.
Okay.
What type of plotting are we doing? Like in SPSS, we have ggplot or that kind of thing. Is this as the same as that in the SPSS? Thank you.
Can you say it again, please? What type of plotting do we have? I didn't get it clearly.
Yes. What I'm saying is that in SPSS. Hello, sir.
Yes. Yes, go on, go on.
Hello, sir.
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
If you plot in SPSS, if you plot in SPSS, It used to be ggplot. Now, is it as the same thing in R programming, that when you plot, it's going to give you that?
Okay, I hear you. Okay, so in SPSS, it is only in R that we have ggplot. We don't have ggplot in SPSS. Then for any plot, so depending on the way you want to plot, so there are some plots that you need packages before they can they can get plotted. For example, I can just load library. Let's see ggplot2, for example. Okay, so here is the package now. And so this package will now allow me to be able to use ggplot2 function. So for example, let's say I have a diamond data set and I want to start plotting, and then I will start doing my plot. For example, let me just show you diamond, for example. Okay, and sorry, I just want to show you something so that you can understand what I'm saying. X, what is X here? Okay. Let's say X is clarity and Y. So the Y variable is what I'm just getting here. Y is depth, right? So this variable is under this diamonds. And then when I'm done, and then I can start saying jump. So jump plots. All right. Sorry what I'm doing that you understand this clearly. Jump plots. Okay. Jump points. All right. So if you do it now like this, you can see the plot here. Let me try it again. What's the error? Okay. Okay. What is the problem? All right. I'm coming. Let me direct this to this left so that this guy can come up clearly, and then I run it again. Invalid graphic states. Okay. I'm coming up. All right. Diamonds and then ggplot. All right. AES. Okay. I'm coming on. Graphics up. All right. Okay, it's plotting now. Okay, it's plotting. Oh, let me see what is happening in diamonds. Diamonds. Okay. So if you look at the data, okay, here is the data. And the clarity, oh, it won't plot because you can see that this one is in factor. So that is why it's not plotting. And then let's see the right variable that will go for the scatter diagram. I'm coming. Okay. Library diamonds. Okay. So now I would like to use, you can see, I will use carat. Okay. I will use carat for my x-axis because scatter plot, the two variables must be continuous. So, and I'm using clarity, which is not which is ordinal. That is why we are having that problem. And then the y-axis, so let me use depth, right? Depth. Okay, it's depth already. So if I run it now, you can see the chart now coming up. So the data is actually very big. It's around 53,000. So this one should work. And then you will see the plot showing up here now. You can see the plot. Here is the plot. Yeah, here is the depth. And you can zoom in and zoom out. So this is what we call ggplot2, right? So this needs a package before it can work. You can see the depth, relationship between the depth and carat, right? And that's ggplot2. And if you want to save it, you can right click, save as, and then you save it to whatever. For example, just put a name here, and that will give you the work. Now, to get the documentation of everything I have used here, for example, I use ggplot. You can come here, put a question mark, put this one there, press Ctrl Enter, and that will give you the documentation. You can see, create a new plot. So that is what this one is doing. This is another function, AES. So come over here. I said if you not do this in the source, don't forget. So come to the console, question mark, AES. That is aesthetic mapping. You can see, and that gives you it will also show you how to do it. You can see. And what other thing? I use the jump point. So Control C, come here, paste it here, press press Enter. You can see this is to create a point. That is scatter diagram, and this is you can read it through, and that is even show you an example. You can see, and that's how to do it. And you can also do the customization as you know it. I think we have it in this section, so don't let me jump to what I don't want to jump into. I hope is that clear now? The answer is clear now, right? For the person that has the question, is it clear? All right.
I think
Moses?
maybe he has muted himself. He must have heard what he said. So let's continue with the others. Others that are raising up there, maybe we should just wait until the end of this training. So that
we'll cover so that we're not jumping. Those people that don't know it before, so that they will not run away. Okay. I think we have a very good standing now. So let me share my screen. Okay, so we know how to install R-Tools. We know the 4 pages of RStudio. You can easily navigate each and every one of them. All right. So now in this another section, we'll be talking about atomic data types. What are they? What is the meaning of atomic data types? Okay, R has its own data types, which we call atomic data type. And basically, they are just 4. And they are numeric, character, logical, and complex. And I will explain it one by one. So numeric is just number, be it a whole number like 7 or decimal number like 2.3. So character is the text. For example, Kezim, Ekiti, something that's a text that you have to put a quotation on it. So quotation could be a single quote or a double quote, right? That is character. So for example, Nigeria, COVID-19. So once you put a text in it and it has a quotation, then that becomes a character. We also have logical. So logical is just true or false. And in our programming, the spelling of true is in capital letter. So capital T, R, U, E, capital F, A, L, S, E, everything capital letter. Then we have complex. Complex is just like our complex number. So if you did further maths in secondary school or in university, you know what complex number is. The same thing with this complex number like 2 minus I, 2 minus 3I, or 3 minus 2J, whatever. So that is complex. So the same way, I'll also support the complex number for the people in mathematics so that they can do their complex number analysis in R. Then numeric is divided into 2. integer or double. So integer, as you know, is something that does not have decimal places, like 7, 9, 20. The double is something that can be that has decimal places, and in Python they call it floats. So the same thing with this. So numeric, either it is integer or double, R will see it as numeric. So that's that. And when you have that, to know the class of an object or to know the data type, we have to use the function called class. So this class will show the type of object that we have in that. For example, this will move us into understanding of values and variable assignments. For example, value is just any value. It could be 5, it could be a test, it could be true or false, anything, right? Now, when we now save it in a variable, so the variable will store the value in it or the object. So the object could be a function. Maybe you are writing a function. When you save the function in a variable, the variable will hold it so that you can use it anytime you want to call it. Are you getting? For example, they call Ezekiel now. Wherever they call it, I will have to look around because I know that my name is Ezekiel. If they call Dr. Isaac now, I will not even look there because my name is not Isaac. So that's just it. So the Isaac is just like Isaac is a value, but the name is equal to Isaac. That name is now called a variable. All right. So in our programming, we have what is called assignment operator. Assignment operator is just the equality sign, right? So if you use equality sign like this, or you use this, so R will see it as assignment operator. So that will be that variable is equal to this, and then you now put your value there. That now become that you have saved your value into a variable. For example, we have this salary, as you can see. In our programming, they like to be seeing this sign, right, as their variable assignment. So people don't use it's equal to sign. So, and to create this sign, on your computer, you can just press Alt minus key, and that will give you this sign. All right. So now, example, here is a variable, here is a value, as you can see. This value that I put here is a character because I put it in quotation. So anytime you call a variable, then the value will come up. For example, if I say salary, this guy will come. And if I say salary minus 2, so it's going to subtract 2 from this, and the result will come up. So I don't need to start calling this value again. I will only call the variable, and everything will work. And now to get the data type of what's inside the salary, you will now use the class function. Class, and put the name of the variable inside it, and it return it as character. Very simple. And remember, here is a character. This one, I am asking, I have a variable called smiling face, and I assign it as false. So if I ask anyone, what type of data type is this? Anybody? If I say class, oh, great.
Character.
Logical. It's not character, it's logical. It is logical because logical only accept 2 values, true or false. Remember, I said everything in all cap. So yes, so if I not say, if I put a quotation there and I put false there, that will not become a character. You can try it on your source, on your RStudio. Okay, in fact, it's time to go to the laboratory section. So I will continue with what I have here. I can delete all of this. Okay, here I want to create a variable. I can just say, let's say age. Age, for example, age is 13. For example, I can run it, and then I can say what is age minus 12. For example, you can see the result is 1, and I can say what is age times 5. Age times 5. That will give me 65. I can say age raised to power 3, and that will give me this. Okay, in R, so this is the sign for raised to power. Although it also supports Python version now by saying this, so it will still work, as you can see. So that's all about variable. And if I say what is the class of age, so to return what will you return, please? Anybody? If I say class age, what will it return? Anybody?
Thanks.
Numeric.
Exactly. Only a woman is talking. What happened to men? Numeric, as you can see. So, as I said before, programming is all about you practicing it. If you don't practice it, it just be like a film. So, practice it, get an error, and so imagine I have something like this, and I press Control Enter. You can see it will give me plus 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 every time. Can you see? So when you see an error like this, what happened is that I have not closed my bracket, my last bracket, my closing bracket. And you can see how it's telling me that something is not matching. Can you see? So whenever you have something like this, what we do is to press escape. So that will escape it, and then you can now correct your error. And then you run it again, and everything will work. So that's all about data type. Remember, we have numeric, we have character, we have logical, and we have a complex number. So, any question on variable types before we go to another section? All right. It is important. So this is just
Let's
the
continue.
beginning of programming. All right. Now we are now moving into data structure. All right. So, Doctor, how many minutes do we have left so that I know how to move forward?
It's not more than 15, oh, because
15.
our target. I know
Okay.
you are
Okay.
enjoying it, but our target, this is the first training. We still continue later. But this is
Okay.
weekend. I don't want to waste their time. Yes. 15 minutes so
Yes.
that
Yes.
we allow questions.
Okay. In fact, if you can cover this thing, I think we are done. Because everything we are doing is just a fundamental of our programming.
Yes. It's the
Once you
foundation.
know all these things, any book you read, any videos you watch, you'll be able to. This is like a foundation. A text like that. If the foundation is not
It's
if the
faulty.
foundation is faulty, what will the
Mm.
righteous do? Right?
Nothing.
So nothing. So if you don't know this background and you are learning genomics using R, sterilization using R, the problem with you will not be able to do it until you start using ChatGPT, asking help anytime. You won't be able to write a code without consulting any material. So that is why it is good to master this. So, and we'll make a very good justice in this. So now, data structure. You've known data types. You've known data structure. We are going to know data structure rather. What are data structures? Data structures are just fundamental for organizing, storing, and manipulating your data. And we have it in two forms. We have homogeneous data structure and heterogeneous data structure. The homogeneous data structure, they contain elements of the same data type. Remember the last time we talked about data type: numeric, character, logical, and complex. So this one, everything in it must be of the same data type. If it is numeric, it will be numeric throughout. If it is character, it will be character throughout. If it is logical, it will be logical throughout. That's all. Simple. Now, heterogeneous, they can contain mix of data types. It can be a mixture of a character, a numeric, a logical, and all those data types. So for the homogeneous, we have a vector, we have a matrix, and we have an array. For heterogeneous, we have a list and we have data frames. Very simple. So let's see them one by one, and we'll go to the lab session to see them in action. And then I will now ask you go to the YouTube, go and read books. You are good to go. Vector. A vector is a collection of elements that are of the same data type. We have settled that one before. A matrix. Vector is just one dimensional array. Matrix is a two-dimensional array, and the element is also of the same data type. Matrix has columns and row, right? That's why they call it two dimension. Row is the one dimension, column is another dimension, making two dimension. Data frame. A data frame is just like a table. Anytime, whenever you see a table in Excel, in SPSS, in SQL, a table is a table. And a table also is a two-dimensional array. It has a column, it has row. But why a data frame is different from a matrix is that why matrix, every element there must be of the same data type. Data frame has different data types. You can see a variable having a numeric, another variable having a logical, another variable having a character data type. Then we have a list. A list is just a collection that can hold elements of different classes. It can hold vector, it can hold matrix, it can hold data frame all together. That's all. So let me go. Let me show you here so I can understand what data frame, what vector is. Here is just an example of a vector. Remember, a vector, you can put element together. For example, if it's numeric, everything will be numeric. If it is integer, everything will be integer. If it is complex, here is the complex. If it is character, you can see everything will be character. And to create a vector, the function is just this C, and then you can put them together. For example, let's say you have 5 students in your class, and here are their ages. You just assign a variable age. Age is equal to concatenate bracket. You start putting their ages one by one and separated by a comma. That's all. For example, here is a character vector, and it is storing months in a year, and the quarter, right? The first quarter in a year. I assign it as a variable quarter start month, and there the first quarter starts January, second quarter starts April, third quarter starts in July, and the last quarter starts with October. That gives us a vector. So let me show you a matrix. So matrix is two-dimensional array. And to create a matrix, you will use this function called matrix. And here, what will be in the data argument is the vector. I can see the vector. Here is the vector. This concatenate. You put your vector there. And here you assign the number of rows you want. You see 5 rows. You see 6 rows. You put it here. And then it has this argument called by row. How you want those elements to be arranged. If it is by row is equal to false, that means that the row, the element will be arranged column wise. If it is true, by row is true, then the element will be arranged row wise. Very simple. Yeah, that is that. Then let me quickly show you what data frame is. I'm not rushing. We'll go to the lab and then we'll settle it here. Data frame is just like a table in your Excel, right? And that you are creating from scratch. So you are not importing, but you are creating it from scratch. So, for example, here is the customer ID. And what happens is that every column in the data frame becomes a vector. Here is a vector of customer ID, a vector of gender, and you know how to create a gender vector. It will be gender is equal to concatenate bracket, male, everything in quotation, comma, male, quotation, female, quotation, and that's all. So that means that every variable in this data frame becomes your vector. And once you do that, you are good to go. You can see, here is it. The row here is the first row, and the row is talking about the observation. The column is representing a variable, and each column, as you can see, can have different data types. You can see here is character, here is numeric, here is numeric. And that is whenever you hear make your data tidy, make it tidy, this is what they are talking about. Saying that you arrange it in a good way. Number one, the row must represent observations. It must be a single observation. You can see one. What is it? Not Alice, Kunle. It is not 23,5. No. If it is 20,5, then the data is no longer tidy. You can see every cell must hold a single value. And then to create a data frame, you use this function called data.frame. This is the function, and then you now be assigning the vector one by one. Here is the age, here is the gender, here is the bank account, and then you close it, and then you call it out, and then you have your data frame. That's why I think you will have time to show them in RStudio.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah,
So to create a comment in R, you will use this hashtag sign vector. So comment is this. So comment is just for you. It is not for the program. Comment is just like people can easily read it and understand the reason behind that thing that you are doing. So you are not, a comment should not be like a sentence that it has to be much and people have to be reading through. No, just like a reason, just a hint. So that's what I'm saying. And to create a comment, you use hashtag. And now, for example, I want to create a vector of name. For example, name. For example, people that attended this R-User Group, Ekiti R-User Group. I know my boss, Dr. Isaac. Okay, that is the first person, comma, and then another person. I can see who else again. Let me come here.
Bright.
Okay, Bright. I can
Bright.
see Bright. All right, thank you, Bright. I can see Bright. So just come here and then type Bright. You can see another person. I can see Abubakar, right? Abu Bakar. Okay, something like this. Abubakar, right? And then you run it. So that becomes your vector. You can see. And when you ask for the class, it will tell you it's a character vector. You can see it's a character. And then another function, you can ask for the length. That's how many elements are in this name variable. You can see we have 3. That is just for vector. And for matrix, right? You know, as I said before, matrix is 2-dimensional array. Let me just say a matrix of, let's say, for example, let's say matrix A, for example, and I want to create just small matrix, 2x2 matrix, and I will just say this is a function. I will use coming over. All right. All right. That will be matrix, right? And then remember is a vector. So all your elements will be inside this vector. In this case, I want to use a unit matrix 1, 0, 0, 1. Right? This is my element, and then you can see after this bracket, I have to put the bracket and come up again. Then this one is asking me the data. I've done the data, the n row. N row, as you know, n row. How many rows do I have? For 2x2, n row is 2, and n call for 2x2, n call is 2. And the next thing will be the arrangement of the elements into the matrix. So in this case, by row is true because I want to arrange by row. And when I run it and I call for my variable matrix, it will give me this. You can see here it's a unit matrix, and then you can easily ask for the class of this matrix to tell you it's a matrix. Can you see? And in fact, you see it as matrix and array. No problem. That's still the same thing. Then the next thing that we would like to discuss is a data frame. Remember, data frame is just like a table, right? And here, I want to call it my data. For example, I want to create a demographic data. In this case, I will just say data.frame. Just as I said before. And data.frame, remember, every variable becomes your vector. So in this case, I want to have a name vector. Right? I just put a name vector there. In this case, I have a name already. So let me change Bright to a female. Uh, Ajayi, Oluwa Busayo, Oluwa Busayo. Okay, so I just copy this guy. Okay, and then under the name, right, I will just come here and say this. Okay, so you can see, yeah, then I will I'm done with the first vector. I put a comma at the end of the bracket and press enter. Then I can ask for the agenda now. All right, and then I know Dr. Isaac to be a male. In this case, it should be like this, male, and then Busayo to the female, and then Abubakar to the male. Okay, then what can I do again? I want to know whether they have, if they have eaten today, right? Eating, if they have eaten, all right. I know Dr. Isaac is a pastor.
Some of us have eaten.
Dr. Isaac is a pastor, he's fasting. So true, all right. Oluwabusayo likes to eat in the morning. So, yeah. Okay, Dr. Isaac is first because he's fasting. Okay, true, Sayo has eaten. All right, and then, sorry, true, and then Abubakar too has eaten. You can see now, right? So if I now run it now, I will get my data frame, and then I can call my data frame according to the name. So if I press enter, you can see, here is my data frame. You can see it in a table form. Can you see? And then if you ask for the class, so you can see the class is, I call it the name of the data. All right. And then if you run it, it tells me it's a data frame. And then there are functions to manipulate data frame. I can ask for the name of the columns. So by using names, and to tell me name, gender, eating. Can you see? So I can also ask for the data structure inside those things. I can use str function for the structure of the data frame. Then if you tell me, you can see name is a character, which is true, and eating is a logical. False, true. And that's all about our data frame. So once you know this and you know how to slice it. So slicing means, for example, now I have a name called name vector, character name vector. So let's say I want to just call Oluwabusayo out. So in that case, to slice a vector, you will use this thing called called square brackets, right? And then because data frame, because vector is a one-dimensional array, right? The first element will start with 1 in R. The second element will start with 2 and so on. If I want to call out for Oluwabusayo, I'll just put 2 here. And then if I run it, you can see that I have, oh, sorry, it's bright because this time I've not changed the name. You can see. Oh no, let me run it again. Okay, you can see it should be Oluwabusayo. If I want to get the first person, I just put 1 here. That will give me Dr. Isaac. If the third person, I put 3 here. That will give me Abubakar. If I put 4 here, it will return an NA saying there is no anything called 4. So that is it. And for the matrix, the same thing. Matrix is 2-dimensional array. All right, it's 2-dimensional array. To do matrix, you just come here, the name of the variable, and then square bracket. So because it's 2-dimensional array, the element you want to slice, remember that you want to slice for a matrix, we have its own row and will be in its own column. You can see here is the row, and here the one here is the column. So if I want to put 1 here, you can see it's in the first row and first column. In this case, I'll just say 1, 1. First row, first column, and press enter, and 1 will come. If I want to get this 0, it will be in the first row and second column. That is 1, comma 2. That is why you can see this 1 and 2 here. And then you see 1, or see 1 comma 2. And then you can see 0. And that is slicing. And for the data frame, the same thing. So for example, we have this data, right? And then to get anything, you just type data, and data frame is also two-dimensional array. So in this case, if I want to get Dr. Isaac, for example, everything about Dr. Isaac here, so it will be, remember the row is in the first row, and the column, because I want everything. So that it will be Dr. Isaac, male and female. I will not put anything here. And that will give me this. That's it. So that's just everything about data structure. So simple. So once you watch the video again, right? Now go to YouTube and start exploring. Thank you very much. Any question? And over to Dr. Isaac.
Oh, thanks so much, my great facilitator. My people, I told you the person we are bringing is a teacher, and I know we have all testified to this. Thanks so much. Do you have any questions before I continue? Any questions? Some people raised up their hand the other time. I said they should just wait until now because we have a lot of things to cover. But I just covered like maybe 1/3 of what he has. I want to this. Okay. Abubakar Suleiman, Anababire, whom should I open floor to first? Abubakar Suleiman, please, your question.
What I wanted to ask is then I was not connecting very well, so I now dropped the message box.
Okay.
The recording and the study material we can be made available so that some of us that missed out we can get it.
Okay. Already I've answered that. Yes, the recording for this training is ongoing and it's going to be made available through your mail. Okay. And
yes, sir. Thank you very much, my boss. To the facilitator, I appreciate the session. You have done so well. Yes, please. My question is simple. When you started before the introduction, you were talking about installation of R-Tools. So I want to know the essence of installing R-Tools. Since we have R-Tools on RStudio already. So what is the reason behind installation of R-Tools?
Okay. Any other person with another question before my facilitator answers that? Any other question? Okay. Let me add to this because I'm already asked this question and I've already written this down. That I have R with me. The current version of R now, I think is a 4.5 or so. And I use 4.4. How will I update with all my libraries intact? That's the question. So making 2 questions now, my facilitator, before we call it a day. Over to you.
Okay. Let me start with the first question, the R-Tools. So by default, R-Tools is not installed when you install RStudio. Right? R-Tools is not installed. Know that one very clearly. R-Tools is not installed when you install RStudio. R-Tools is a separate software entirely from RStudio. That is why when you are installing a new, in fact, if you are installing a new R version, we have current 4.50, for example, now. So you have to install another R-Tools for that one because the last one may not work with it again. And you will notice that when you are installing the package, it will be complaining that you need to install R-Tools. So many people, as you know, our people, they don't read the error message. That's why they will not start complaining that they cannot install any package. So that's what it matters. So if you install R-Tools, you will not have any problem. Now, if you install a new R version, then it is possible you have a new library. So let me share my screen and then I will explain what R library is. It's important for us to understand what is R library and what is R packages. So let me see. I have a place where I discussed about that on the slide. Okay. Okay, I'm coming on. Okay. All right. Can you see my screen? Yes. Um, R packages and R library. So let me just go to where I discussed about it. No, I didn't discuss it. Okay. So what is R packages? As you know, R packages just extend the functionality of R programming. So R programming by default can only do, let me say, a minor thing. So it may not do almost everything you have been hearing that R can do. But other developers, they now created an external functionalities called packages that can help you to do your work better. So, for example, each of the packages, they have their own group. For example, if you want to import a data that want to install or load a package that belongs to data import. For example, read out for reading the limited data type. For example, CSV. If you want to import a spreadsheet, we will use what's called what do you call it now? Read Excel and many more. So now, library is now a place where those packages are being stored. For example, now your books. For example, let me say university or polytechnic institution. For example, they have a library where books are being kept, and if you want to use any book, you go to the library to take it. So the same way the library is in the R program. So, for example, you can just say .lib path. So it will tell you all the parts that all the packages that you have installed are being kept. For example, this one now, I have two parts for my own. This one, the one library here is where I think all the external packages are being kept. So the second one here are where the default packages are being kept. So if I come here, I copy this, Ctrl C or copy, and I press window R, to run, and I paste this guy here, and I press OK. It will open a folder for me. You can see. So now, if you look at all this one now, these are the default packages. Nobody install this one. They install by default when you install the R program. You can see here is the extension. Here is the directory for all that the RStudio or R programming 4.50 has to offer you. So now, if you go to the other one now, this second one here, so this is where the new packages, right, that you install by yourself will be. You can see. So now, anytime you install a new R version, it will create this something for you. You can see the last one was 4.4, and the new version now is 4.5. So here is that we have a limited data subscription. Here is our problem or challenge. So what you will do is anytime you install a new R version, so what we do now is come to the previous one, this one, and just press Ctrl A, Ctrl C, and then come over here. So once you install this one will be empty, right? So you can just press Ctrl V, and everything will come here, and you'll be able to use those packages. So another thing is that if you come to the tools, global options, when you install a new version, how will not use it? It will still be using the old version. That is why you have to change it here. You can see change, you will see all the listed R that you have installed. They will be here. I can easily select them. For me, anytime I install a new version, I will delete the old version so that my computer can have good space. So that's why you don't see 4.4.0 here. So and then when you do that and you press apply and press OK, then it will create that folder for you here as 4.5, and then you can easily do copy and paste. So that's all about that. I don't know if I answer your question very well. I believe so.
Yes, you have
Okay.
done. Yes, you have done justice already. My
Okay.
facilitator. Yes, I think you don't have any other question again.
All right.
Any other question? Any other question? Nobody is raising up hand again. So yes,
Okay.
let's round up. We on behalf of Ekiti State R-User Group, I want to say a very big thank you to Mr. Ezekiel Ogundepo for what he has done. I done justice to this because the background matters, and that's what he has given unto us today. You know, I said something at the beginning of the training. I still want to say is to round up, and that is showing interest, passion to do this thing. We that are doing it, we didn't just start in the day. Though we started in the day, but we started in the day, but where we are, it was not just gather up just one day. What he has given unto us today is foundation. It's the foundation you are going to build on. But the foundation is the way he delivered it today. If you can just build on what he has sent unto us or he has given unto us, and before the next, because in the next 2 or 3 months you are going to do another one, you're going to be built on what he has given us, and that is where we are going to start. And if we cannot touch it before the next training, it's going to be zero level again. I've seen people that have attended training within and outside the country. Today, they are still at zero level. They keep attending training here and there. One thing I told myself so many years back is that there's no training I will attend to that not come back and use it. In fact, become trainer to others. Even the man that taught me, if he has not taken it, I'm going to teach him. And that's what's happening today. So we must have passion, interest, deep interest. It is deep interest that has become passion. And it has become hobby. Is there any day I don't do analysis? So we should, whether you are in trade, whether you are in statistics or not, everyone here I'm looking at, we use data. And data analysis has become something that you see everywhere. If you have said it that no matter how good your paper is, when it's lack good statistical data analysis, it won't be reckoned with. You attend conferences, they rubbish your work. So please let us be with us. Already we have started Ekiti R-Users Group. Let's continue to be here and follow us. After this training, we are going to announce to you the next one. Mr. Ezekiel, I want to thank you again for your time, for the energy you have put in. Please, your slide. I don't know how you are going to send it. Are we going to, because I've seen that you have not even taught us half of what we plan. So we call this training getting started with R. We have not even touched data analysis at all. You have given a very good foundation upon which you are going to stand. So don't mind me. I may say you are going to be the next facilitator. I'm not saying, I'm just saying this now. It may not be you, but the other person, but get prepared, because you already have people that have listened to you and they may want to hear it again or the next one. So on this note, I want to hear comments from people. Have you really enjoyed it? Do you have any other thing to say before we go? Please, you can meet yourself. You can meet yourself, and this already too before we go. I say the final prayer. Anybody? Does anybody want to appreciate our facilitator? You want to give any comments?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, boss. Hello, sir.
Yeah, we are listening. Okay.
Yes,
Mr.
on behalf of R-User Ekiti State, I want to appreciate Mr. Ezekiel. He has done justice to the the foundation of R programming. At least though I've been using R, though I'm not a specialist, but there are so many things I gain in the course of the training. So I pray for you that the Lord will continually to enrich you
Thank
and
you very
bless
much.
you in the rest of your hands.
Yeah,
So
thank
just keep.
you.
Thank you. We appreciate you so much. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Mr. Fatoba, I've read it in the comment section, thanking the facilitator, thanking Ekiti R-User Group. Some people were asking me the right time that do we have any WhatsApp group? Well, the one we have, I may send the link. That was WhatsApp group. Do we even need it again? It's a Telegram group. We have almost 100 people there we can join, but I would prefer you continue to follow us on Meetup. Meetup is far better, but if there's any need for us to do that, I will let us know. Just let's keep following us and we'll get there. R is very good, especially if you want to go to data analysis. And I want to tell you, it's also good for data management. I've used it. I've used to manage data. I've even used it to compute students' GPA. R is so, he has told you, so many companies use it. And it's like gold. And you have to look for it and know it. Thank you very much. So I want to say, just keep following us until we meet. God bless you.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
My facilitator.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Do you want to say any other thing to them before they go? Like encouragement?
Oh, okay. Let me see. Let me open my camera. Just like Dr. Ashik said, right? Programming is not hard. Don't see it as hard. And it's even a technology of the future. If you are used to the those traditional software, right? You may not, I don't know. Almost some companies now, I know they would like you to use open source because nobody wants to pay huge amount of money to be able to get the work done. And in fact, when I was working with 54 Gene, they were using Starter and SPSS. Because it's a genomic data, it has patient data. They don't want their data to be, how would I call it, that somebody hacked them or the data is stolen because it's very sensitive. Imagine data about patients in the university, in the federal hospitals in Nigeria, all the states in Nigeria. So they don't use open source. They are using Stata and SPSS. So that time, I was privileged to see the amount, the license for Stata, and I was seeing like $3,000. Instantly, I converted to Naira. I just told my boss, say, we can use open source. And this money that we are using to buy license, can you add it to our salary so that it will motivate people to learn R or learn Python or learn any open source? So I have a particular boss then saying that no. He was saying no because he doesn't know those open source. And my guy too was like, he doesn't know who to accept, either me or the guy. So the lady who happened to be our boss then now sent a message to our headquarters in the US. They were now saying, they've been using our programming for so long that in fact it's very good. If you have any employee that knows it, it will be a good one for you and to manage your data and everything. That was how my boss said we should start using our program. So we started teaching everybody and we're able to save more money. And in fact, they increase our salary based on the promise that if we can use our programming and save costs, the cost that we save, they'll be able to put in our own salary. And that is how we get the work done at that time. I remember when I was working with the Rwanda Revenue Authority as well, I was the only one that knew how programming. They were using SPSS. And the problem is that, as you know, once data is becoming so large, so much, like you are seeing 15 million rows, SPSS will not take it again. I remember that time we're working with revenue data, just like FIRS in Nigeria. Imagine the people paying tax in Nigeria. There's so much. There's the large companies, small company, and we need to do tax analysis for the president so as to know how to formulate policy and everything. And my boss told me that your project is to make that we know our programming and we can use our programming to do all our analysis. That time, I just started my postgraduate education. Even me too, I only know little about R. So I started reading books. I watched all the videos on data camp on R programming. And in fact, data camp even interviewed me on how I was able to use R programming for those work, and also brought R programming to data science in Nigeria. Okay. So because we're able to put our processes in R, right, we're able to analyze the large volume of data. And in fact, I was the only person in Rwanda Revenue Authority that they employed as their statistician at that time. Only Nigeria in the whole history of Rwanda Revenue Authority. I hope other Nigerians will get job as well in the future. So that's just it. So what I'm trying to say is that this thing will open way for you. It will make you to do more. And you can only do more if you are reading it, watching videos, consume all the materials you can consume. So if you cannot read book on the laptop or on your phone, print it. If you don't have money, then you can read it on your computer. For me, if I want to be serious about something, I will have to print it at that time. Started, I use all the free printer, free A4 paper, print it, read it, to the extent that if I don't read any book again, I think I will still get the work done because I've already read most books I need to read. So time is here. Time is for everybody. Do all you can do, and in the next 3 months, you'll be able to know our programming for any purpose, for any work in academia, in the industry. In fact, we have websites that we even develop using our programming. Instead of giving our money to the web developer to help us do it, Dr. Isaac has his website, and it was developed in R. And I've seen fantastic work that my boss has done in R programming. So it's a good one. So, and if you do that as well, you can see a lot of opportunities that will come to you. Thank you very much.
Thanks for that encouragement and those things you have said. You have really boosted our morale. If I should talk about what we have gained from this R, let me not say anything about it too. God has really used R for me. Let me tell you, knowing R is another skill. They say, I read it somewhere, I see somebody said it, or I read it, that depending on salary is a crime. Depending only on salary. People outside, people that are not collecting salary, they give us name. They give us name. They gave us name. That my friend that gave us name is no longer in Nigeria. Say, how can you say you are collecting salary? Even a whole professor, how much is the whole money? So I want to encourage you. I can't say more than the way I'm saying it. People that are interested with key into it. I pray what I've learned today. By the time we remember that we have acquired this knowledge, we have reasons to give praise to God. So let me stop here. It's past 2 already. We promised ourselves 2 hours, 12 to 2. And I don't want to go beyond that. It's already almost 10 after 2 now. Once again, I want to welcome you. The next meeting, I'll let you know through our normal way of sending message. That is through our mail. I want to encourage others to please extend the function to others. Let them know about what we know. Tell them what we are doing on Ekiti R-Users. R-Users Group. It's a very nice one. We are here to pay. Nobody is asking any money from anybody. We're not asking you to pay anything. What you are going to do if you go online, but you look at the way a facilitator is giving it to you free of charge, empowering you. It goes beyond this. So he's well versed in her. If you want to know more about it, you can even go online and see all those things he has done. Was it 2 years ago? that he came up with one library. We call it Buckred. Buckred is online. You can download it on your system. We use it to import SPSS and to fill up our missing values, to clear our data. So many things that our facility has done. There are one that we did together. We write paper together. So it's a very good person in that area. You can, the one you mentioned about site, you can go to GitHub, you see it. He has even projected it there, and I'm seeing it. My own is also there. So many things, we can't say a lot, we can't say it all on her. So on this note, I'm stopping so that I'm not becoming talkative. So God bless you. Welcome. Till we meet.